Good evening, I'm Melissa Hekalea, and this is TVB News. Today is Mid-Autumn Festival, and TVB wishes families around Hong Kong a wonderful time. It's traditionally believed the moon is at its brightest at this time of the year, with Chinese communities around the world celebrating the festival with family gatherings and eating mooncakes. In Hong Kong, many communities are celebrating the event with lantern carnivals and other festive activities. So first, we go to our reporter Celine Chan, who's at Victoria Park. So Celine, what is it like over there?
Thank you, Melissa. It's starting to get really crowded here at Victoria Park as the night approaches. Let's take a look at the lantern displays. Victoria Park's carnival is themed Charm in the Air, Chinese-style Hong Kong flair. So the tree of budding creativity and the pendant decorations drew lots of attention. Except the carnival, citizens can also look at the Fire Dragon dance at the Victoria Park, as the Fire Dragon dance team extended its route from Wun Sha Street to Tung Lung Wan Road in Causeway Bay this year. The team is expected to arrive at around 10:30 p.m. Well, that's all the update as for now. Back to you at the studio.
Thanks a lot, Celine. Some companies have arranged for their employees to leave work earlier to celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival. Many restaurants around the cities have been fully booked, but some say they continue to be affected by the growing trend of residents choosing to spend money in the mainland. Timothy Lee tells us more.
Families around Hong Kong gathered for festive meals celebrating the Mid-Autumn Festival today. At this Mongkok restaurant, some arrived even before moonrise. This man said today is a rare opportunity for him to spend time with his aging relatives and enjoy family time. While this man hopes the festival could offer a warm atmosphere and a feeling of togetherness for his family. This restaurant manager said his restaurant was fully booked tonight, but noted that business still dropped by some 10% compared with the same period last year. He added many residents have chosen to travel out of Hong Kong during the holiday, with fewer families dining at local restaurants. But celebrations were not just limited to restaurants. Many families opted to enjoy spending time with family back home, resulting in scores of residents flocking to public transport as many were allowed to leave work earlier. This man said his company allowed him to leave a few hours earlier out of concern for crowds flooding to MTR stations. Traditionally, residents would play with lanterns and enjoy views of the moon after Mid-Autumn Festival dinner. But this lantern shop in Sheung Wan said sales of the lantern this year were less than satisfactory. The shop's manager noted the drastic drop was likely caused by the low birth rate in the city and many families choosing to travel up north during the holidays. Today also marks the first Mid-Autumn Festival since authorities implemented citywide plastic restrictions in April this year, with a transition period of 6 months making it the last Mid-Autumn Festival that shops can sell popular glow sticks. With glow stick sales making up 30% of the store's sales, the lantern shop manager noted the measure's impact on his business. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
The observatory recorded a maximum temperature of 35.7 degrees Celsius today, making it the hottest Mid-Autumn Festival on record and the hottest day of the year so far. Authorities said residents can see the supermoon tonight, depending on the weather conditions. The observatory recorded a temperature of 33.8 degrees Celsius at noon, before it rose further to 35.7 degrees at 3 p.m. Many residents visited swimming pools in an effort to cool down from the sweltering heat. Weather authorities forecast conditions will turn worse this evening, which could affect views of the moon. Meantime, various cultural festivities are being held across the mainland to celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival, which falls on the 15th day of the 8th month in the lunar calendar. Danny Zhou reports.
Tonight, the sky will offer a stunning supermoon that is perfectly timed for Chinese families to get together for the traditional moon gazing to celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival. A meteorological analyst said the skies in much of East China are expected to clear up after being ravaged by Typhoon Pabinka, which will ensure favorable weather conditions for the celestial display. The Jingcai Lantern Festival was unveiled in the Beijing Garden Expo Park. With more than 200 groups of dazzling lantern displays, a feast for visitors' eyes to see the cultural heritage of lantern craftsmanship in the southwestern city of Zigong, which blend distinctive elements of Beijing. In Yunnan's provincial capital, Kunming, a mid-autumn-themed cultural exchange event was held. Chinese college students gathered with their peers from countries like Cambodia, Vietnam, and Ukraine. The event featured singing and dance performances, as well as mooncake making, sugar painting, and lacquer fan painting, in a bid to promote a deeper understanding of the Chinese traditional culture. Meanwhile, numerous tourists eagerly embraced the Hanfu craze in the ancient city of Luoyang in Henan province. They wore traditional attire from the Tang dynasty during the Empress's Mid-Autumn Feast in the National Archaeological Site Park. This year's festival witnessed an increase of more than 50% of Hanfu rentals and sales, as well as travel photography services. In Shandong, creative glassworks featuring jade rabbits were manufactured at glass workshops to cater for the latest market demands. In other parts of the country, cultural relics were displayed in museums with a blend of festival mythology to help visitors experience Chinese history and feel the warmth and unity of the festival. On Monday, nearly 200 million travelers were registered across China, and the daily traffic volume on highways stood at around 180 million. Transportation authorities have ramped up the capacity of buses and taxis and strengthened inspections of charging facilities in expressway service areas. The number of flights scheduled for international routes on Tuesday is expected to exceed 2,300. Danny Zhou, TVB News.
Elon Musk deleted a post on his social media platform X in which he asked why no one is even trying to assassinate President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. The billionaire Tesla and SpaceX owner has almost 200 million followers on X. The original post was in response to user Doge Designer, one of the 700 accounts that Musk follows. Doge Designer asked why they want to kill Donald Trump. Musk's reply was quickly condemned by many X users, and Deport Elon Musk began trending on the platform. White House spokesperson Andrew Bates said in response, violence should only be condemned, never encouraged or joked about. This rhetoric is irresponsible. Welcome back. The government has announced a series of events, discounts, and free rides to celebrate National Day on October 1st. Mimo Singhai reports.
With National Day approaching, flags and banners can be seen almost everywhere in the city. At a press conference, the government described the scale of this year's National Day display as unprecedented.
This year's festive displays adopt red as the main color, with writings in gold-colored fonts. Now, the illustration includes the country's landmark. The illustrations elegantly convey prosperity and national pride. We're going to display a total of 185,000 pieces of festive displays at over 5,000 locations.
To further enhance the festive atmosphere, the government also introduced different promotions for residents. For instance, residents can take free rides on trams on National Day, while MTR will offer a 25% fare discount for octopus car passengers who travel on most train lines. Bus companies, including KMB and Citybus, will offer free rides for children on selected routes. Residents can visit some facilities under the Leisure and Cultural Services Department for free on October 1st, including special exhibitions in museums. A National Day fireworks show will be held at night. Meanwhile, a drone show will also be performed on the night before National Day in the sky above the West Kowloon Cultural District. Because it is China's 75th National Day, authorities will offer local tours for 7,500 residents and offer 750 free Ocean Park tickets to grassroots families. The government hopes the discounts and activities can provide joy to the city. News 9, TVB News.
International long-distance races will be held on the center runway of the Hong Kong International Airport on November 17th. Athletes will be running while watching planes taking off and landing nearby. Mimo Singai again.
The center runway at the airport will be put into service by the end of this year, meaning the free runway system project will be completed after 8 years of development. To celebrate the launch of the free runways, a special international race will be held on the center runway in November. With a quota of 12,000 places available, runners will be able to experience a unique running track. They can witness aircraft landing and taking off on the south and north runways.
The race this November continues a proud legacy. Back in 1998, celebrates the opening of Hong Kong IA at Chek-Lap Clock, the Standard Charter Hong Kong Marathon set a finishing point on the runway.
The event includes different categories: 10 kilometers, 5 kilometers, 3 kilometers, 10-kilometer wheelchair races, and a women's elite 10 kilometers challenge. A public ballot registration will start at 2 p.m. on Monday. A priority entry is set up for specific groups, such as people who joined the 1998 marathon and airport employees. They can register between now and Wednesday. The airport authority said runners' safety and airport operations will be guaranteed on that day.
Distance between the center runway to both runways is around 1.5 kilometers, and we will cordon off the center runway to avoid any participant actually going out from the coastal areas.
The Hong Kong China Association of Athletics Affiliates, or HKAAA, the organizer of the event, said athletes must first register and undergo a security check at Asia World Expo on the day of the event.
The HKAAA said world-class marathon runners will also be invited to the race, and the details will be announced later. Memos 9, TVB News.
In the city's largest IPO in almost 4 years, mainland home appliances maker Midea Group was listed in Hong Kong today. Speaking on TVB's Straight Talk program, Bonnie Chan, Chief Executive Officer of the Hong Kong Exchanges and Clearing, said the market for initial public offerings in Hong Kong has been improving this year despite some challenges.
I think since the second quarter of this year, we saw actually IPO activity really picking up quite nicely. Year to date, we've completed 43 IPOs, and that places us in terms of global league table number 4, right, which is quite nice. One thing which I really want to point out is the fact that aside from IPO, actually Hong Kong is a particularly strong and convenient platform for companies which are listed to carry out follow-on fundraising. So year to date, we have in fact completed already $21 billion of follow-on capital raising for listed companies, and that goes to show our strength.
Chan also said the Hong Kong Exchange is working to attract state-of-the-art technology companies to be listed in Hong Kong. Target sectors include artificial intelligence, new energy, new materials, and quantum computing. Chief Executive John Lee criticized the United States Congress over the statues of Hong Kong's 3 representative offices in the U.S. The House of Representatives has passed a bill that could close the offices, which helps promote and facilitate economic and trade ties between the U.S. and Hong Kong.
I strongly condemn the U.S. House of Representatives for making use of the so-called Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office Certification Act to slander the Hong Kong laws on safeguarding national security and also smear the human rights situation in Hong Kong. These are political tactics to suppress the development of China and also Hong Kong. These are shameless and ugly political tactics.
The U.S. bill calls on the president to remove the extension of certain privileges, exemptions, and immunities to the offices. if it is felt that Hong Kong no longer enjoys a high degree of autonomy from Beijing. That's the news. Thanks for watching. Happy Mid-Autumn Festival. Have a great evening.